everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm back. I'm feeling much more recuperated. I've had quite a severe week with the kids being sick all last week and not being able to sleep, and you know what it's like when children, if you've got children and they're sick. So I'm back, and today's video we're going to be doing inclusions. So I'm just been looking at what things that we can add in resin, and this is merely targeted at beginners. So if you are a beginner and you're new to resin, and you've seen videos where people stick things in resin such as flowers and foils and glitters, etc., and you're not confident enough, because I know a lot of people who are just starting resin, not very confident and are quite intimidated by resin, should I say. Well, you don't need to be intimidated at all, because trust me, once you get where I am, I'm only 6 months in. I've done resin for about 12 months, but YouTube, I'm 6 months in, and before I came to YouTube, I only did hearts, hug hearts, and key rings. So I never did anything like this. So what I'm going to be doing today is I have a sphere mould, which I'm going to be trying to insert the rose. I have a love heart, which I'm going to be backing it with this. These are like little storage bags. So all I did was take the clear pocket off, and we're going to use that. And I have some of these. It's like stones, but they're kind of like an iridescent, so they change colour, as you can see there. So I thought they might be nice. And then we're going to do some glitter. So I'm just going to be throwing a load of glitter into some resin. I'm just basically showing you how easy it is, and that you don't need to be intimidated by anything that you want to put in resin. Resin will do what it wants regardless of your experience with resin. I'm beginner, and I've seen people who are intermediate, which is like skilled and really craft shit with resin, and still have bad days. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find some little pots so I can pour some resin in, and then I'll be back. So I shall see you in a minute. Alright, so I'm back. So I've got some glitters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use glitter in resin and how to get it stop it from sinking. So that's going to be one of the moulds. Then this will be for that. We're going to insert that in that, and the love heart, we're going to try these. I've got another mould off to the side of, there's just no room, and yeah. One of them. Right, so I'll start off. I've got 8 ounces of the Apex High Gloss 1-to-1 resin from Just For Online UK, and that's just been sat there degassing, as it has cooled down a lot here in the UK. So you do get a bit of micro bubbles when the weather isn't as hot as when it's hot. You don't get bubbles. When it's cooler, resin gets micro bubbles, but it does come out itself. Right, we'll start off with this one, and we're just going to put a little bit of resin into there. I'm not worried about micro bubbles. I've got some isopropyl alcohol, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray inside the mould. And what the isopropyl alcohol does is it just helps, if it will come out, it just helps to break the surface tension within your mould, so that any static that's in your mould, because silicone and static love each other, and it bubbles like static, resin likes 90-degree angles, so when you combine all, you can get bubbles sticking in like corners and things like that. So we're going to take some of these pebbles, and I'm just going to put them in the resin. And I'm just going to add a bit of resin. And the reason why I'm just adding a bit of resin is just because I just want to line my mould with a little bit of resin. Because we've got here And all I'm doing is just squeezing to make sure that the resin is sucked back in and all the bubbles are pushed back out. There we go. And what I want to do is try and get some of these stones, pebbles, chips into the whale's tail. It's a bit of a mouthful. When you add inclusions into resin pieces, it can give really cool effects. So because I've got lots of materials, that's why I'm doing everything today, because I need to get rid of some of these materials. There's loads of new stuff coming out now. This is last year's stuff. Loads of new stuff coming out now, and I really need to get a move on and get it all used. Otherwise it's just going to be sat there and not get used. So that's one. I've got some in the tail, I hope. I'm just going to put that over to one side. Right, so what are we going to do now? So we're going to put some more resin in here. Elmer's glue. We're going to be using Elmer's glue. Elmer's glue works as a thickening agent for resin. Daniel Cooper discovered that he put a few drops of Elmer's glue, only the clear one, into clear resin or coloured resin, and then add your glitter. It thickens your resin to a gluggy consistency, and your resin doesn't sink. Right, so I have 70 mils of resin in there, so I'm just going to put one drop in. Some YouTubers who use this swear by 1 drop per ounce, but I found it depends on the resin you're using. When I use this, the Apex High Gloss, if I put 1 drop in, it's thick. I'll show you. I've only put 1 drop in, and watch. You can see that. So if I was to do 1 drop per ounce, my resin wouldn't cure. So can you see that's just off 1 drop? So 1 drop is perfect for me. So you need to make sure you give it a good stir. You don't need to worry about bubbles with glitter, because you won't see the bubbles anyway. And we're just going to add a load of glitter. I will link everything from today's video down in the description box for you, along with discount code that I may have. So when I say add glitter, I mean add glitter. And how beautiful is that glitter? It's actually Mermaid glitter. I got this from Temu. I think it was like $1 for a 25 gram bag. Sorry about that. Somebody called and knocked the battery. Knocked the recording off. So all I did was just fill up that with some more resin. So that's 2 done. Right. So the tray. I have some of this gorgeous. It's actually vinyl, I think it is. Sticky back material, and we're gonna add this into the tray. Right. So I just cut one into shape. We will cut it more into shape once we've done the tray. I've got a bit of debris in my tray, so I'm just going to lay thin layer of resin. So what I've done is I've put a layer of resin down, and then what I'll do is I wait for that to semi-cure, so where it's tacky, so it's thick and tacky, and then what will happen is I'll be able to put my vinyl down into the mould, and it will stick in the resin, and then I'll back coat it. It has got bubbles, which I'm not bothered about. They will come up on their own. And then we have the love heart. Right, so I've got another pot of resin that is just degassing to the side. There's just no room here, and I want to fill it 3/4 of the way. And again, we're going to wait for that to become tacky. You can put it in now, but it's got more chance of springing back up and not being nice. So I want to wait for that to get sticky. Once that becomes tacky, that will go inside there, and then I'll back it in a different colour. I am going to be doing some how-to videos for beginners, and I'll put it into a playlist for new people who are new on the channel. Right, so in this, I hope this fits in there, and I hope me trying to get it in is not going to ruin it. But you will need a cocktail stick, not a cocktail stick, a wooden stick. And what the wooden stick is going to do, it's going to stop the rose from sinking right to the bottom of the mould. So I need some string, which I forgot, and I haven't got. Right, so I just got some cotton. That should work a treat. I'm just going to put that to one side. What I want to do is I just want to put some resin in there. So I filled that about 1/4 of the way. And what I want to do is I want to get this in here. Oh god. And it's just so that I can measure it and then cut it down. I'm there to buy certain things, so you know. And there we go. I'm just going to push everything inside. Now I need my scissors. I've just had them. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you a minute while I cut this and get the stick onto this. Right, so what I did was cut the stem off, and I actually like these roses, these fingers. If this one comes off, that one's glued, I can't get that one off, but I'm sure we can cut it off. So what I want to do now is, because I want that about there, so what I've done is I've pushed it down in the resin, and there is bubbles. This is my first time doing this, so and what I want to do is I want to tie this to my stick and lift it up and centre it, and what it does is it just stops it from sinking down, so it's not to the bottom of the mould. Does that make sense? So I'm going to need a minute to do this, so right, that'll do. It's centred, that's the main thing. And what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of weight on that to stop it moving, and we're going to fill that up now with resin. And the reason why we put a little bit of weight on the stick is just to stop it from, because the rose will float the more resin you put in, and it'll move the stick, so the weight will hold down that and keep the rose in place. Alright, so I'm going to back that in another colour just so you can't see the stem. So I filled resin to where the stem starts on the rose, if you can see. Does that make sense? And then I'll be backing that in black. Right, so I will be back once the resin is tacky for the tray and the love heart to put the inclusions in, which will be the holographic bag and the vinyl. So I shall see you later. Bye. Right, so everything is on my heat mat, and it is where I want it to be thick. So we're going to start off by inserting this. I'm hoping it's not too big. So when you're inserting anything into a tray or a heart or anything, the taco method is the best way. So taco method is when you fold it like that, and then you drop it down and then let it go, and what it does is it takes the resin and helps with bubbles. I've never done the taco method myself because I'm not really one for inserting stuff into resin. I'm just making sure I've got it the right way. I'm just making sure that there's no bubbles underneath. and all I'm doing is just scraping the insert that I've inserted in the material, should I say. And that seems fine. If there is any bubbles, then that's my own fault for being stupid. I'm not doing it how it should do. I'm only showing you the basics anyway. I'm still learning myself, so. Alright, so that's that one done. I'm going to let that cure, and then I'll back that in black. And we're going to do the same with the vinyl. Now vinyl is obviously sticky, so it's got a paper back which peels off, which doesn't matter. You can still insert it in the resin. So when you're working with trays, you're going to be working upside down. So you need to make sure that whatever you're putting in, whether it's a sticker or vinyl or a tattoo, goes upside down. Really, so when you turn it over, your pattern is facing the opposite way. So when you demold it and turn it over, it's perfect. So I'm going to tear this off. You can spray some isopropyl alcohol on it to get rid of the stickiness, which I am going to do. 1 second. Right, that's better. So what I've also done as well is I've sprayed the front of my vinyl with some isopropyl alcohol. So when I stick it in, it's going to help with bubbles. Right, so I'm going to show you another way. So you can start off at the bottom. It doesn't matter if your material isn't cut properly, you can cut it after. I usually use a craft blade, and then if I need to trim it down, then I can. And all I'm doing is just brushing my flat end of my silicone tool along the resin, pushing it down, and that will help with any bubbles if there's any underneath. Right, so that's it now. So these are going to stay on my heat mat. I'm going to turn the heat mat on, and they'll take about, probably do about 2 hours, because I've got thin pores. So thinner pores always take longer to cure on a heat mat, or even in if you let them cure at room temperature. I use a heat mat because it's quicker and more efficient for me. So yeah, obviously if I'm doing an order for somebody, then I don't use a heat mat because I always end up with bubbles. Right guys, so I'm going to have a little play with this, chop it down so it can look a bit neater, and then I'll be back later. So I will be back with you shortly. Bye. Hi everybody and welcome back. So we're going to get these demolded. So we're going to start off with the easiest ones, as I need to get my partner to chop that there, just so that it's not sticking out. Right, so I said I was going to back in black, but I went for white instead. I just thought black would be a bit too heavy with the lightness of the colours that I've used in some of these. So I'm just demolding the Viynl. We'll take a closer look at them in a minute. Right, so my tail snapped off. I knew that would happen. It's because there's a thing there. Just bear with me. Right, so what I did was just UV resin that back on. Right, and we'll have a closer look shortly. So if you find that you have a mould and it's really stiff to get out, you can use some warm soapy water or some isopropyl alcohol in your moulds. Right, and that is our glittered sphere. As you can see, the glitter didn't sink at all. That's because we used what's it called? Elmer's glue. And then this is the tray. That's just a bit of thingy. But yeah, that's the tray using the vinyl. And then this is the love heart where I put the what's it called into it? What did I forgot what it is. The holographic bag, and that was the heart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on pause, get this trimmed off, and then I'll be back and we can get this demolded. Alright, so So I just trimmed it off and I will get that sanded. So again, if you can't seem to get your mould, your product demolded, should I say, just use some isopropyl alcohol or some warm soapy water, and that should help loads. Just going to put that there. You can't see it, so make sure you put your moulds the right way around, otherwise you're going to have issues with your mould. That can lead to damage. Right, so because the sun's shining through, I can't show you properly, but that's what it looks like. There is some bubbles around here, but I said I would get bubbles. But, can you see? Nice, isn't it? Different. So that video was just to show you some things that you can actually put into your resin. So well, to confirm, we did the glitter with Elmer's glue. We did vinyl. We did holographic plastic rose. We did beads, gems, whatever you want to call them, that have got an iridescent to them, so you can see that they change colour. I wasn't too keen on them because they did make the resin murky. They're clean because they've been cleaned, but it's just because the stones are grey. And this is my favourite. I absolutely love this one. I think that's a really nice effect. What do you think? So out of the 5 things, which one is your favourite insert? Inclusion, insert, it's more or less the same. But guys, so I'm going to leave that with you. So please like, comment and subscribe if you've not already done so. That would help my channel out so much. And I shall see you on tomorrow's upload. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.